to order the meetings of the Jones County Board of Appeals and Adjustments and the Jones County Planning and Zoning Commission. First item of business is a request for a motion to approve our minutes.
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the way this works, just so that you understand the order, is that the presentations tonight, the requester will come up and make the presentation for what they are asking for, provide any information that they feel like is pertinent, and then anybody who's opposed to this request is going to have an option to speak as well. Y'all will speak to us. You don't go back and forth between each other. You talk to the board as a part of that process. And then after the presenter has spoken and any opposition has spoken, the board will ask any questions that they have, and then the discussion will move forward from there as relative to approval or not. I'm going to ask Mr. Petrowski to explain the timing convention, since we do have a number of people in the audience this evening. There will be some timing conventions used.
The applicant will be provided 10 minutes to speak in support of the application. Once the applicant is concluded, if anyone else would like to speak in support of the application, they may speak until that 10 minutes is exhausted. Once that 10 minutes has been exhausted, then anyone else who wishes to speak in support will have 1 minute to speak, each person. Then those in opposition will also be granted 10 minutes to speak. If there's a spokesperson for the opposition, they may begin. If not, the board will decide how that 10 minutes will be distributed among the people that want to speak. Once that 10 minutes has been exhausted, then anyone else that wishes to speak will be given 1 minute to speak in opposition.
So first item this evening is old business. Okmulgee Property LLC has a proposal to amend the approved plan unit development for a portion of River North subdivision to allow a 32-unit fee simple townhome development on 5.2 acres. The property is located near 632 River North Boulevard and to the rear of River Point condominiums. We have someone here to speak. Could you tell us your name, please, and your address?
Good evening. My name is Childers Adams, 609 Cherry Street, Unit B320, Macon. This is the same proposal that came before you guys back in December, at which time the board requested a formal agreement be reached between Okmulgee Property 2 LLC and the River North Homeowners Associations. We've worked over the last several months to come to mutual resolution, which you should have a copy in front of you outlining the terms that both parties are agreeable to move forward with due diligence on this project. All other details, site plan, floor plans, everything remains the same from our last meeting in December.
Is anybody here in support of this request that would speak in addition to this gentleman? Is there anyone here who wants to speak in opposition to this request? Would you come up, please, sir, and tell us your name and your address? And we'll get back to you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Richard Kazort, 633 River North Boulevard.
Would you spell that last name, please, sir?
C-A-Z-O-R-T.
Thank you.
We as residents have not seen the agreement. Do you mind if we see it, or can we see it before you vote? The reason being is because we have a meeting, we have a email from the president that said that they had not reached an agreement.
Last page has got signatures on it.
Yeah, 17th of March is when this was reached. So it is signed by all the parties. Okay, thank you. I would still like to voice my concerns. Nothing has been done on drainage that's coming into the River North or going out of River North. Nothing has been done by traffic. Still going to have the same problems that we had at the same time that we've always had. Nothing's been done with any of the water, sewer, None of those problems have been issued or changed. We're adding more into this neighborhood, and it's still the same. I would really like to see this project not go ahead just because of those concerns. I don't know what else you guys can do besides not approve it. I wish you would not approve it. I presume that each one of these townhomes will have their own individual building permit, not as a group. I will hope that the site would be as a whole instead of just as piecemeal. I hope you take that into account. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, thank you. Is there anyone else here who wants to speak in opposition? Does the board have questions?
Mr. Kazort, you mentioned, you can come back up, this might take just a minute. Just for everybody's education here, I'm assuming that you're talking about existing,
Infrastructure that goes with this property. This particular property is at the backside of River North. Well, it's not on the backside, it's on the backside of an existing piece of property. So all the services that go to that piece of property are sized for only what's there. I don't know if they've got an additional sizing, have no idea, don't know. I just know that the road in and road out is the exact same one that we've had forever, and it's not big enough, and we're having problems as we speak. We as the residents, not as Jones County, but as the residents, spent millions of dollars on our roads. They're tearing up as we speak. Previous board can't do anything about it, but the infrastructure is falling apart. Just to gain more people out there, just to have more people, doesn't do us as residents any good. Unfortunately, the amount of money is just nothing that we have as dues.
so your opinion is this development, if it was to proceed, would add more degradation to the existing erosion?
Yes, right now, when residents are added in that particular neighborhood, it's onesie-twosies. Now you're getting ready to add 30, times 2 cars piece, times people coming over. So, okay, let's just say 100 people. That's 100 new cars.
Well, help us understand exactly the role of the River North Communities Association. Are they not supposed to look out for the homeowners when it comes to these improvements or developments?
They are. We've been out, I personally have been out there for 30 years. 30 years. We've spent not that much money. We just spent a few years ago $3 million, I think is what the price tag was. And they're tearing up as we speak. Those are private roads, not public roads. Private roads, so it's coming out of my pocket to fix those things every single time.
Okay, but if you add more
People,
families, isn't that more association fees to help go toward the roads?
that's a private community.
Again, don't these additional families contribute to the association fees that help pay for the roads?
$10 a month. Do you think that's going to make very much on the road?
That's why I'm asking.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't make much. It's not much. That's what dues out there contribute to so little. They have so many other costs. The roads always take a back seat for it. You think roads are good and last forever? They don't. So 30 new homes times $10 a month, not going to be much money for the wear and tear that 30 homes times 2 cars, I'm just taking average, is going to be. It's a tremendous amount out there.
Okay.
I may be beating a dead horse, but I'm just telling.
No, we need to hear this.
That's our problem, not y'all's problem, but our problem out there in that neighborhood. But y'all can somewhat help our problem out there from becoming a bigger problem for us.
I'd like to make a comment on it. The last time we met here, prior to this agreement being drawn up, this is what you guys wanted. You wanted an agreement between the developer and the associations and residents that would cover the cost of taking care of these problems that you're talking about right now. The agreement was reached, it's been signed. Obviously, there's things here that you're still not comfortable with, so my suggestion now would be just to go to these association heads, have a meeting with them, and you guys are gonna have to work all that out. That's the way it appears to me. I don't know what else could be done about that other than y'all getting your heads together and,
Well, first off, this was signed on March 17th,
yeah.
I think is the date. None of us in the association have ever seen it besides the board. So the board is the only one. To us as residents, we think that this is a pretty big step in our neighborhood. Pretty big. We were never asked to look at it. We were never offered to look at it. We were never offered the opportunity to look at it and just make comments. The board is the board. The board made the comment. The board made the decision. We understand that. We elect the board, and that's the problem. But it's still a problem to us, and y'all can stop it. We would appreciate it not going through with it, but we're asking, it's only my humble opinion, that's the problem, is we see we see a big development for little gain out there in this subdivision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim, this goes before the commissioners, right?
Yes, sir. They'll have the final say.
So regardless of what happens here tonight, this is not a go, no-go. It would be our recommendation only. I think you raised your hand?
So, ma'am, are we back to opposition?
Well, not so much opposition, I'd just like to make a statement if I could. I feel the same way this gentleman feels. Yes, I looked to my board, I sent a lot of questions. I was told from them, the only thing I've received is that my questions were premature and that I would know something after this week. My question to you guys is, each one of you ladies and gentlemen, is if this goes through tonight, because I'm going to be right in front of these 32 homes, okay? I understand they're 2 and 3 bedrooms. See, I really don't even know everything that I'm being asked to approve at this point. And I know my board should have been relaying that to me. I just saw today what some part of that agreement was, but I haven't seen that agreement. My question to you all is this. If you approve this tonight, do we have any recourse? Because, you know, if I was being told that my questions were premature, I feel like that the approval of this is premature. I'm just saying that's the way I feel as somebody who has lived there for 15 years, and now I'm going to have people coming in. Not only are we dealing with roads, which is a big deal, we're dealing with safety is my main thing. That's one of the reasons that I pay. The River Point Condo Association, our HOA fee is $225, just went up. And a part of that's supposed to be for safety for me and my bedbound daughter. I just have a lot of questions. So will this, if you approve it, will this be the end? Because what I understood from the thing I read today was that, yes, all the boards are in agreement that they will let Mr. Adams go ahead and go through this, but that there would be no building until which time, I guess they're going to approve it, they being the boards. But like that gentleman said, I asked a couple of months ago when we were here last time, right after that, I asked, why are all the boards not getting together, having an open session, and allowing us to ask our questions? Because I'm sure that Mr. Adams would have been able to then answer those, and we would have probably felt a lot more comfortable with this.
So, ma'am, number one, would you share your name and address, please?
Oh, excuse me, I am so sorry.
That's all right.
It's Gwen Bryant with a T, and I live at 120 River Point Drive, one of the condos.
So to address your question, tonight is a recommendation.
Okay.
That goes forward to the commissioners. The Board of Commissioners is who makes the final decision relative to go or no-go. So you have the opportunity to also come to the commissioners' meeting and speak there. Or
Okay.
speak to your commissioners before the meeting.
Okay, and also hopefully we can get some of those questions that we sent to them per them asking, answered before whatever time that is. So thank you so much.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate your time and your consideration.
All right, so since we backed up, is there anyone else here who wants to speak in opposition to this request? All right, then, that's done. The public part's done. We're going back to the board now. Does anybody else have comments or questions? All right, do I have a motion?
I would move to recommend approval.
I second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So at this point, this is a recommendation for approval from Planning and Zoning that will go forward again to the commissioners to their meeting on whenever it is. I'm sorry?
April 1st.
April 1st. So that will be the opportunity for you to speak to them about the county's decision, but in the meantime, you have the opportunity to speak among yourselves with whatever board governance you have.
Can I ask one other question? Would that mean, can I just do it from here?
What's your question, ma'am?
My question is, would, between now and then, I would assume that the builder and the owner of the property would be working out what he needs to do before that commission with our boards.
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, Mr. Adams might.
We just ruled on the zoning request, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, moving on, we will now get to the appeal hearing. These items will be heard here. This is the appeal portion, I'm sorry, I got off track. The appeal portion is decided by this board so that it does not go forward to the commissioners. Item 1 is Ray and Jejune, am I saying that correctly? Mansholt. They are requesting a variance to allow an accessory building in the front yard. The property is located at 150 Norman Road, and it consists of 5.77 plus or minus acres, which are zoned agricultural rural.
Correct. Hi, I'm Joji Mansholt, and this is my husband Ray, and again, we live at 150 Norman Road in Haddock, and we have put in to build a pole barn, which will be in front of our home. We just put a double wide in approximately a little over a year ago, and the reason that we put our home where we did is because it's nothing but hills, dry creeks, boulders, and everything else. Because there is actually where we're wanting to put the pole barn is where we wanted to put the home, but it would have been the wrong direction because they told us we had to put our home facing the road. So actually, where our home is not where we wanted. And I brought pictures, I mean, literally, our home is from one end to the other, 5 feet difference. It's on a hill. And when I say boulders, there's rocks bigger than this whole area and throughout the area. And, like I said, dry creeks, anything and we're dealing with laterals, wells, and property lines and everything. So basically, we only have one place we can put the pole barn.
And from the center of the road to the closest place to the house is 300 feet away. So,
Yeah, there's one home that's probably 300 feet from us, literally, and that's to the side. It's just an old, dry road. It's not paved, nothing. It's not going to interfere with anybody.
Is there anyone here who would speak in support of this request? Is there anyone here who would speak in opposition to this request? Does the board have questions?
How far back from Norman Road, from the road itself to where the pole barn is gonna be, how far is that?
Which, or the side road, Norman Road?
Yeah.
Norman Road, yeah.
That-
Okay, it's about 200 feet.
Yeah.
So your driveway runs off of Norman, that's correct, right?
Right.
Yes.
So it's a couple hundred feet back from the road?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's trees in between.
Our home is about
There-
300
there's-
feet
there's-
back.
From the center of the road, there's 200 feet of trees.
Okay, so as you stand on the road, can you see it?
Yeah, you probably can see it through the trees.
Depends on
Depending on what time of the year it
what
is.
season it is.
Exactly.
And then the house is further back,
Farther
Oh,
back.
yeah.
yeah.
Other
Is it-
questions?
Is it a shed or a pole barn?
It's gonna be a
It'll
pole.
pull back.
Okay.
Anything else? To have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So y'all are approved,
Okay,
and that is an approval,
awesome.
okay? Thank you. All right, so at this point, we will conclude the appeals hearing and move to convening the Planning and Zoning Commission hearing. These items heard tonight here are recommendations, and these will go forward to the County Commission Board for final decisions. And that, again, is April 1st here. First item is Nelson Buckland, who is requesting a conditional use to allow a paving company. The property is located at 107 Bone Creek Road, and it consists of 1.5 plus or minus acres, zone C2 General Commercial, C1 Neighborhood Commercial, and R1 Single Family Residential. Mr. Buckland, are you here? Yes.
It's 105, Bone Creek. 107 is the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And all I'm doing there is there's no business rent out of there. I'm just parking my dump trucks there and my equipment there overnight, and they're picked up in the morning time. And so far as a business being ran out of there is not. There ain't even a desk into the building. You know, from what I understand, whoever's making the complaint is complaining about the road. I was renting this place for 4 years before I bought the place. All right. I've already done maintenance to the road that nobody's paid for but me, and I've never asked nobody, and it was tore before I got there. And so if the road's tore up, I will fix the road, free of cost. Won't charge nobody, won't charge the city, the county, nobody. I'll repave it from my entrance to Joycliff with white. But I'm not the only big trucks use that road. There's a Anchors repo lot beside me. They got 18-wheelers come up in there every day on Bone Creek and load and unload cars all day long. My truck leaves at 7:30 in the morning, and they don't come back to probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. So it ain't like they're coming in there 15 times a day. They're coming in one time and leaving in the morning, coming one time at night. And on Saturday and Sunday, they don't even leave. They stay there in the yard to get cleaned up, and they don't leave again until Monday morning. And so all I want to do is be able to use a piece of property that I bought without, because when I bought the property, I was under the understanding that, and everybody up on Joycliff tell me the same thing, that it's on commercial, everything on Joycliff is. And I wasn't trying to run a business out of it, just using it as a storage for my stuff. The only thing I got in that building is my race cars. So, as far as a business, there's not.
Okay.
That's all I want to do is use my property.
Is there anyone here who would speak in support of Mr. Buckland? Yes, ma'am. Your name and address, please.
My name is Tiffany Buckland. I'm married to Ms. Nancy Mann, owner of Midstate Paving. I run the business, all the secretarial work, all the bookkeeping work, answer phone calls, send faxes, emails, and all that from my home office, which is on 2941 Red Fox Drive in Haddock, Georgia. So, as he said, there's no operating the business out of that commercial building. I run it mostly from this phone and a laptop that's at my home office. So, just to second what he said, there you go.
Anyone else here who would speak in support? Anyone who wants to speak in opposition to the request? Yes, sir, would you come up and give us your name and address, please, and tell us your concerns? Thank y'all.
My name is Burton Harper. Me and my wife Melody live at 123 Bone Creek Road.
Last name again, I'm sorry.
Harper, H-A-R-P-E-R.
Thank you, I missed the Harper. I thought you
That's
said
okay.
Hart, thanks.
First of all, there's signs for a weight limit of 15 tons when you get on Joycliff. That's Joycliff, not even subdivision road of Bone Creek. These trucks weigh more than 15 tons. They've already torn up our road. They were not in disrepair before it moved in. It was not. But now, where the truck turns around, I've seen it myself, where it pulls in to back up. Every time the time I've seen it, you can see the asphalt crack from the weight of the truck, from the front of the truck. The wheels turning, it's just too much weight for it, and it's tearing up our subdivision road at Bone Creek. I'm concerned it's also tearing up Joycliff Road. There's even a sign before you get on, if you're coming from Gray Highway, there's a sign that says no through trucks. I'm sure that's there for a reason. So, also, if they were to be zoned, from my understanding of our county ordinances, they would have to be zoned M1 instead of C2. I'm not going to read those, but I probably don't have time to, but that is where what they would have to be zoned to, I believe. And, I mean, if you were going to put something like that in our subdivision, then do you want to put that in front of every subdivision? What about Red Fox Road? Does Red Fox Road warrant an asphalt company with trucks coming? This is a family area. Cars, buses come through. It's not a good place for big trucks to be riding because there's no telling what kind of accidents could happen from a big truck or a school bus or just a family coming in. And I think that just the size of the trucks are too big, and I don't even think, to be honest with you, I don't even understand why we actually have to be here for this meeting. It seems like it would just be a no-go altogether, that I wouldn't have to take my time to come up here to go against this, because it's just, to me, it's obvious that at an entrance to a subdivision, you don't want an asphalt place or even a car repair place or anything like that, because it's going to bring down the value of homes on that road, number one, which is going to lower the amount of money that comes from the tax base for Jones County. And number two, it's going to tear up the roads, which increase our expenses. And I think that's my main concerns. Did I miss anything, baby? Oh, yeah. Oh, here's a picture of the size trucks that'll be parked there. If you want to circulate that, you can see that. Now, the smallest truck like that, from my understanding of my research, is 35,000 pounds. That's the smallest truck of that size. I called my Commissioner Martin about a year ago and asked him to come out, see what was going on. He spoke with someone, he said it was the owner, and he said that they claimed that the roads were not torn up because of them. But they said they would fix it. They kind of patched it, but even what they did, because of the subbase of our road will not handle trucks that size. I don't know if the subbase of Joycliff will handle it, but Bone Creek, the subbase of Bone Creek will not handle trucks like that. And even where they patched it at is already a pothole. That's just, I mean, half of our road is gone, almost half of it is gone from the other side where they're turning around and coming up. And on the other side, the lane that's coming in, where you're going in, half of the road is torn up, the asphalt's torn up, and where you're going out, there's a big pothole again now where they tried to patch it the first time. The roads were so torn up from where the entrance is to that area that they had to do something with it, and they fixed that part themselves, just their entrance only. And I don't even know if they're supposed to do that on their own. I mean, don't they have to, doesn't the county have to do that? If I tear up the road going up out of my house, can I just fix it myself, or does the county have to do that? Do y'all know?
I don't know the answer to that, sir.
Okay. Well, could y'all look into that? Because that's what's happened. They have repaired, where they've destroyed the road going in and out of the business, they repaired it themselves. I don't even know if they're allowed to do that. So.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here who wants to speak in opposition? Yes, sir. Come up and tell us your name and address, please, sir.
My name is Stephen Peavy. I live at 111 Pine Tree Drive, which is further into the neighborhood. Everything that he spoke of, I'm in agreement with that. And I also want to touch on the fact that the trucks, their dump trucks, are a lot of times sitting there at moments blocking. There's times when you head out of the neighborhood and you're thinking to yourself, okay, are they going to be sitting there blocking the roadway or so forth? And you're like, what are they going to be this time? And coming back in on the end of it, they're blocking, and you have to go around them. And if there's someone else, you have to wait. There's not enough room for the traffic to get through there on Bone Creek. Again, this is a residential street, not for commercial use. And basically, I believe if we go back, there was an altercation there not too long ago, where I believe some type of shooting event happened because of someone got into an argument with trucks parking there. And right there at the end of Bone Creek. So that, and this isn't part of it, but just like with anchor sales, they're always up there with car carriers loading them on and off. In fact, I called years back and got the no parking signs put up, I guess me and some of the other people living in the neighborhood, but it's ignored. The no parking signs there, they still just park there. And his name was Buck, is it Buck?
Talk to us, sir.
Excuse me, Harrison and Son. Where did that name, because that's come up. The name Harrison Son, there's even trucks there that said Harrison and Son, I believe, on it.
We don't have any information.
Okay, well, that name come up somewhere. So these pictures I'm going to give you, disregard that about Harrison Son. There's some more pictures. These are y'all's to keep right there of that. And then there's more showing of some pictures there with the parking on the roadway, blocking the roadway. Those are y'all's to keep as well. And just to let you know, this is, like I said, this isn't part of it, but I'll also include these to let you see the ongoing problem with the anchor sales and their car carriers. So this is an ongoing problem. And it's just going to continue if this is allowed. So, and I'll tell you right now, if it is allowed, I'm going to be lighting up the sheriff's office phone number. Every time they're out there, I'm calling the sheriff. Every time. They're out there on the roadway, I'm going to do it, and I hope my neighbors do it as well. So I hope this is not allowed to go through. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here who wants to speak in opposition? Yes, sir. Your name and address, please, sir.
Leon Phillips at 139 Bone Creek Road. Pretty much the same thing he said. It is trying to get in and out is a big problem too. I don't know if I'm the unluckiest person in the world, but when I start to work or I get home, not every day, but if I'm in that time frame, you might as well hang it up. They got a F-150, they pull it there and block the road now so the dump truck and trailer can get in. So when that happens, you're dead in the water. A lot of neighbors they go out the other road because they get so aggravated, they don't even go down Bone Creek anymore. And it sucks that you can't use your own road to get to Joel Cliff. You can cut through and go the other way to get to Joel Cliff, but if they're conducting their business, you can hang it up. It's just very aggravating. If I'd have known this when we moved there, I wouldn't have moved there. I was told it was commercial. That's why I never raised a voice about it. I figured we had no voice. But guess what? It's not commercial. I mean, it's just aggravating. It's just too much for a neighborhood. I know Joy Cliff is commercial, but we shouldn't have to put up with aggravation. They had a cowboy dump truck driver that was going through the neighborhood. I don't know if y'all know what Jake brakes are, but he loved to go through the neighborhood in his Jake brakes. I called this lady, and she pretty much said it wasn't none of my business, that they had been doing that for years. It's just a lot. I don't think we should have to put up with it. Thank you.
Anyone else who wants to speak in opposition?
Any comments from this point forward will be 1 minute. The 10 minutes has been exhausted.
Take no longer than a minute. I'm Wanda Davis. I live at 158 Bone Creek Road, and I agree with the gentleman that spoke already about the problems we have on the street. The street is just completely about torn up, especially coming in at that area, and it's being blocked. A lot of times you running late, you're going to be really late because you have to sit and wait, or either, now several times I've backed up and went down Dogwood and changed my route, but I shouldn't have to do that since I live on Bone Creek. But it is a problem, and it's been ongoing, and the towing service as well. They park on the side and block the street all the time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Just got one quick thing to say.
Name and address,
I'm
please.
sorry, Melody Harper, and it's 123 Bone Creek Road. My husband spoke earlier. And so this is just, when he made that comment about it, I know it's zoned for the residential, the C1 and C2. And so when I pulled some information up, one of the things that came up was when he mentioned the M1, and the M1, and I know he says he uses it for storage, but it says for M1, contractor storage and equipment yards when located entirely within a building or fenced area and properly screened as provided in section 67, which section 67 talks about having a 6-foot fence or shrubs to where you don't see it. So if he's even just using it for just storing of equipment, then that's not even a condition of a C2. That would actually be rezoning it to an M1, is my understanding of the codes that we have. And so that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Anyone else? Questions for the board now, please.
Mr. Buckland. You're using the yard for just parking your equipment, is that correct?
That's right.
Is there any reason for the roads to be blocked off? Is there any reason for?
I'm not the only one that's on that road.
Okay, we're gonna talk about you right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no reason for any of your equipment to be out there blocking the roads?
Only just the back end.
Okay. And you've been doing this for how long now?
6 years.
6 years. Okay. And who is the other company that's out there running tractor trailers?
That's Harbor, Anchor
Sales.
Repo.
Anchor Repo.
Yeah.
And the size trucks that they're bringing in and out of there are car
They're
carriers?
18-wheelers, yeah.
18-wheelers, you're saying?
That's the side of the road they're talking about, tore up my trucks on.
Okay. Are they parking alongside the road out there? Are they blocking?
That's the whole left lane.
Okay. All right. All right, sir. Thank you. Mr. Harper?
Yes, sir.
Is it the Buckland operation that's causing the problem, or is it the other outfit that's out there causing the problem?
Both are.
Who's blocking the roads?
Well, right now, Buckland is, that I see. I'm not saying that the repo place isn't blocking it. I don't know. But every time I've had a problem with the roads being blocked, it's the asphalt company. But to me, more than that is just the fact that I have to drive on a road that's all torn up now. It's, doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, just trying to figure out here who your culprit is, which one is actually causing the biggest problem for the neighborhood. Is it the Buckland operation, or is it at the other outfit?
I would say they both are, but I think the Buckland operation, from what I can see, is causing more problems.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Sir, can I show you a photo? Now, they don't block the road. I'm sure you know what a bobcat is. That's not a bobcat, it's a Caterpillar. They are loading it up on Bone Creek Road. You see the ramps are down. Ramps are down, they're loading that piece of equipment where at? On
Yeah.
Bone Creek Road.
In this Buckland operation here doing that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Buckland, is that the only way you can load and unload your equipment is to, on the side of the road out there? You can't pull it onto the yard?
No,
and do it?
that day, I had done some work on my rental house beside it, and we spreaded some millings into the driveway, and so they was loading the Bobcat up on the road to get it from the rental house, and was leaving going to another job that particular day. I don't unload the equipment on the road. It just that's one particular day, it happened to be, we was doing some work at the rental place, trying to clean it up.
Is your yard big enough for you to drive your trucks in there and do all that inside your?
Yeah.
Without having to do it out on the road?
Yeah.
Well, that would be one suggestion right there, is that's probably what you should be doing. But, okay, I've got what I need right now, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Other questions from the board? So I'd like to clarify, this 1.5 acres has got 3 zonings on it?
2 zonings. Portion of the property is zoned C2. The balance of the property is zoned, I don't have that in front of me. I believe the remainder of the property is zoned C1. I'd have to go look that up. There's a house that was rezoned to accommodate a daycare that's on this same parcel.
Okay. So the property is commercial?
It is.
Of one category or the other, it is commercial now?
The area where the contractor storage yard is clearly the C2 portion of the property.
And storage is allowed under C2?
We have been approving these as contractor trade shops and allowing these. We most recently approved one 2 years ago for a paving company on Rock Creek Road in the C2 zoning district as a conditional use.
Okay, so that's what's driving the conditional use?
Yes, ma'am, using this as his storage yard.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anybody else?
I'm just going to share my thoughts with everybody at the table, because I thought this was going to be a easy task. But after hearing all the residents of the neighborhood, I'm still on the fence now. I mean, they have valid concerns. It's not just Buckland, it's also Anchor, and it's been going on. So it's not going to be so easy for me to come to a decision on this as I thought it was going to be. Hal, you're more familiar with the zoning than I am. M1 is not going to change anything, is it? If we rezone to M1, it's not going to change the fact of the traffic.
No, it's since we're commenting here, I think, to me, the problem doesn't lie with that. I think the problem lies with just people conducting themselves and their businesses the way they should. Mr. Buckland should do all his loading and unloading inside. He shouldn't be out there on the side of the road, tearing up the side of the road, and this other outfit shouldn't be doing that either. So it's a matter of, people saying, okay, this is what we're going to do from this point forward. We're not going to do this anymore, and I think we can all get along if we'll just get out there, take care of the road, look out for the people in the neighborhood, don't be rude to them, don't get out there and get in shouting matches over it and all this kind of stuff. It's one of those type things. It's just a matter of just cooperating with each other. And these companies are going to have to understand these residents, they live there. They don't live somewhere else. They live there. So they don't have the luxury of living somewhere else and their operation being down the road 10 miles. They look, but anyway, that's what it looks like to me, and well, I'll make a motion if we're ready for motions.
I got one final question for
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
I have one
Buckland.
more question too, Howard.
What is the weight of a fully loaded dump truck?
They're not fully loaded coming in, they're empty.
That wasn't my question.
A fully loaded dump truck, 65,000 pounds.
Okay.
That's what a load, that's what a load asphalt now. I'm talking
Right.
about empty, but these trucks are not,
I want to know how much it weighs with it loaded.
yeah, that's what 20 tons of asphalt.
Okay.
How long has this property been zoned commercial? Do we know?
If I remember correctly, they rezoned it in the early 90s for a contractor trade shop. There was a general contractor operating out of this location, and that was when they built the building.
So that's 30 some odd years.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was like 90, 91 in that time.
Okay. All right, so Hal, you were prepared to make.
Well,
a
one other
motion.
thing I was gonna say is as far as the load limits are concerned, GDOT sets the load limits on all these roads. Is that correct? They set the load limits, even though it's a county
That would
road,
be,
they still.
that would be for state roads.
I'm sorry?
That would be for state roads.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't
a-
get to speak to county, I don't
Yeah.
think. Did they?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well, either way, whether it's GDOT or DOT, one of them sets the load limits.
Okay.
So, and this thing's been going on for years and years and years. Nobody's bothered to change it. They don't seem to be concerned with that. So, I don't know. It seems like that's something they need to take up with the state or GDOT or somebody as far as load limits go. But anyway, we ready for,
Yeah. Do I have a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion to recommend approval. And again, I think it's, all the other problems that you're having here is, well, I'll make the motion to recommend approval. And you folks have the opportunity to take your,
Do I have a second?
I'm sorry,
Do I have a second to your motion?
am I finished?
No, sir? Well, you made the motion to approve.
I
right?
did, I'm sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. But
Okay.
anyway, that's, yeah, I'll make the motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Motion fails for lack of a second. Do I have a counter motion?
Make a motion to disapprove.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to disapprove the request. All in favor? So I have two opposed, one for, and
I'll disapprove.
you disapprove. So I have three against and one for.
I would like to request a show of hands so we can have the record reflect.
All right, so the motion, the first motion failed. The motion to approve failed for lack of a second. The second motion was to disapprove, had a second. All in favor of the disapproval, please raise your hand. So that disapproval is the recommendation that will go to the county commissioners. Now, that leaves them with the final decision again. This is a recommendation from us to them to disapprove the conditional use request. And then everybody certainly can go to the commissioners' meeting and share your positions and your concerns between now and then and then. All right, thank y'all. Okay, item 2 is, on the planning and zoning side, is the Clinton Methodist Church is requesting a conditional use to allow an addition to be demolished and then rebuilt larger. The property is located at 110 Old Highway 18, and it consists of 10.6 plus or minus acres zoned rural residential with a historic overlay, and it's inside the Clinton Historic District. Do we have someone here to speak on behalf of that request? Tell us your name and address, please.
Donald Curry, 4013 Gray Highway. I'm a member of the Clinton Methodist Church. We built that building to house a Sunday school room when I was about 17 years old. We're beginning to have structural problems with it and want to demolish it and increase the size of it. And the new building will try to, I'm sorry, I have a speech defect, to look like the existing sanctuary. So, and we'd like to have that approved, please.
And I can share on behalf of the Historic Preservation Commission, which I'm a member of, that we did discuss it with the church, and the Preservation Commission has granted the certificate of appropriateness for the building design. So this is a separate request from the building design itself. This is for the conditional use to allow that demolition and then the larger structure. So it was two separate things with two separate boards. Is there anybody here who would speak in support of this request? Would you come up, please, Mark?
My name's Mark Ross, and I live at 112 Old Highway 18. We live behind the church, and I just wanted to express our support for their request and believe that they would do a good job matching the historic qualities of the area.
Thank you. Is anyone else here who wants to speak in support? Does the board have any questions? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
So the recommendation will go to the county commissioners for approval of the conditional use request. And that will be April 1st when the commissioners hear that. Okay, now we have a preliminary plat approval request from, is it Madeline? Madeline Properties LLC. You here to speak on that, sir?
Good evening, Board. My name is Scott Jackson. I'm a developer here in the county. Madeline Properties is the name of my business, and we're here to to show y'all the preliminary plat that we would like approved on the corner of Come Slow and Overland Way.
It's huge. How many I couldn't read the fine print. It's 100 and how many acres?
It's 86 acres.
Oh, it's 86. I really couldn't read it. Okay.
If we need it, I'll get it.
There's some road names, I don't think these exist yet.
I have a larger plan available in my office if you want me to go get it.
No, I don't need it. I couldn't put my head on the property. According
Right
to,
across from the recycling center. On Overland.
okay,
Across from the little trash thing.
Oh, it's straight across from it? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
is that the land that's previously just been timbered?
We purchased from Roberts Timber, and Roberts Timber logged it.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm familiar then.
So that's across from where they have the airplane fly thing too,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Wow. I grew up riding a horse down that road when there was nothing there but the dump.
Well, we got the name Garrison Ridge from the old Garrison Road that's there.
Yep.
So I like to try to use the history in everything I do.
Does the board have, yes, Jim, I'm sorry.
I was just, since we have new board members, we haven't had a preliminary plat in a while. Would you like a little background?
Please.
So one of the functions of this board is approving new subdivision plats when there are new roads involved or if it exceeds 10 lots. When it's 10 lots or less, I have office approval. So in this case, we've got 90-something lots and we have new roads. So it comes to y'all to review that plat. So we look at it from an administrative standpoint. This isn't a public hearing, so we're not advertising this or taking public comment on the subdivision. We're just looking at it administratively. I have performed a review. You've been provided a copy of my review. The plan met all of our specifications. We do need additional information before construction can begin. But rather than making somebody spend tens of thousands of dollars on engineering before they know they've got approval, we go ahead and accept the application and bring it before y'all to begin this process. If you grant approval of the preliminary plat, they have 1 year to complete construction. If at that time they've completed construction and the final plat is the same as the preliminary plat, I approve that in-house. It's an administrative function that I have. If he had to alter it, they get in there and they start building and now they've added 30 lots or they eliminated 30 lots, then that would come back to you all for final approval. Preliminary plat's kind of a contract between you and the developer, basically saying, if you do what you said on here, we're going to let you sell lots when you're done.
So any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any other any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So, sir, you've got approval on that from us. Thank you. Okay. Comments from the audience? Comments from the board? Audience comments, sir? It's a question, okay? Yes, sir. We'd like to know who's asking us questions. Come talk to us.
My name is Curtis Billingsley, and I live in 831 McCall Road, Macon, Georgia, presently. But I was born and raised here in Jones County. And I suppose I should have spoken in opposition to Clinton Methodist demolishing the old building and then rebuilding the new building larger, because there's not that much room there. And my question would have been, how much larger? Because it can be built larger, and then you'll be blocking access. I have a mother, a father, I have 3 brothers, 3 sisters, an uncle and an aunt in the cemetery that goes right past Clinton Methodist. If it's built larger, then, and so that it blocks not only just my family, but other families who have residents there, that doesn't do us any good.
The building is going to be directly behind the church, just like the existing building. It will not be any wider than the church. It will just go a little further back than the existing building does now. And I don't know the footage. I don't remember it. Tim, do you happen to have it?
The existing building is 700 square feet in size, roughly 32 by 20. The proposed building is roughly 1,200 square feet in size, 32 by 40.
So it just goes further back. Doesn't go any wider, doesn't get in the roadway.
So that clears that up. Because I was there before I came here tonight. And there's not that much space there. And won't be able to see my father's grave, my 3 brothers' grave, my niece's grave. Wow. But when I was there also, this is probably something for the Board of Commissioners. Let's see, my third brother was put there first, probably in 1944. And my memory is not that bad. And that was his grave here. And then later on, my second brother's grave was there. But that's not the same now. Here's my brother's grave here. And then there's my brother Jimmy, and my father's here. I don't remember it being that way. Now, I wasn't there when my brother Jimmy was buried, but I was there for everybody else. What I possibly need to do is to take a member from this brother's grave. He has sons and daughters left, because I don't remember it being there. My third brother and my father being this far from where I thought it was. And I think that's the question for the Board of Commissioners.
I don't think we can help you on that, sir.
Well, I will contact one of the sons of this brother. His memory is better than mine. My memory is 84 and 8 months and 17 days old. His is a little bit younger than that. I have a daughter his age. Maybe that can be reconciled. Just he and I go there, and he convinced me that it was. Because I don't see his grave here, and my third brother here, and my father here. I don't remember that. I just don't remember that. And but I thank you for hearing me out, and maybe I need to talk with directly the Board of Commissioners, because it just doesn't look right. I was wondering, sitting back there, did I show up at the right place? The letter was addressed to me, Curtis Billingsley, and everybody has left, and I'm still sitting there. Did I show up at the right meeting, in the right hall? But that's my concern right now. Thank you for hearing me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Comments from the board? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I didn't ask for any discussion on that, did I?